Hey guys, and welcome back to Battle Network 6. Just the one part today because it is a Friday, but there are some antics in this one, some shenanigans, nay, some hijinks, so it's going to be all good.
I was waiting for you to say hijinks, because that's my favorite word related to hijinks.
Good stuff.
I can also spell it, unlike shenanigans, which I constantly fuck up.
Yeah, I always gotta go to, like, spell check for that shit.
It's like shenanigans.
Okay, I think we've run this joke into the ground. Where the hell is Mick? He's only 15 feet away. He can make it in time. Is this going anywhere?
Do you narrate everything you do? I do that sometimes.
I'm about to talk. I'm now talking.
The talking is commencing.
Well, I know some of you won't like this reference, but you know in Steven Universe when they're trying to teach Pearl to sleep.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Alright, just close your eyes and just relax. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping now. You can't talk while you're asleep. How is this even supposed to work?
And then she sleeps and then she dreams and it doesn't work out very well.
And that's the thing. Why is there a penguin here?
I don't know, we need some hijinks, like you said, and the last event was so serious that they decided naturally they needed a cute comedic moment in order to separate this scene from all the others.
And just to get this out of the way, no, that's not like a Navi, you know, in a copy bot just deciding to have it up as a penguin or anything.
That's not the penguin from Ava, it's not the penguin from Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just the penguin. It'll come in handy later on, but for now it's just the penguin.
We should be especially glad that it's not the penguin from Yu-Gi-Oh! That's all I'm saying if you've never watched that show.
Yeah, that dude knows how much pizza you ate. That's just weird, man. Those buttons on the wall, that panel back there, look like a face, by the way. It looks like Q-Bot from Sonic.
Huh. Oh, that one on the right. So I was looking at the flashing shit. That's where my eyes went.
Okay, well, fair enough. It is kind of flashing. I'd be attracted to that, too.
In the future, none of Eggman's servants are spared. None of them.
Yeah, even they have NetNavi integration somehow.
Dude, you could have made such a sick Battle Network crossover with fucking, like, Sonic.
Really? Are you sure about that?
I'll just have him go to a computer. Done.
It's not that simple. You gotta think about a few more layers than that.
They're programs. By the way, nice. Layers, I get it.
Yeah, wait, no, I wasn't What? Wait, what did I do?
Just run with it. It's a computer joke.
Okay, fair enough.
Technically, I think it's a Photoshop joke, but Photoshop's on a computer, it's all good.
This penguin is surprisingly eager, because last time I checked, penguins were not like this? I don't know, I've never spoken to a penguin before, have you?
What type of penguin is that? Because that could determine all the fine details.
Oh shit, I don't know. We could go. It's probably like I want to say like a king penguin, an emperor penguin, some kind of penguin.
Penguin, yellow eyebrows. It is most likely a... what the fuck is this? I don't want to know about Pokemon.
Even the wiki doesn't know what kind of penguin it is. Screw it.
A pair of northern rockhopper penguins.
Oh yeah, I remember that now. I distinctly recall what a rockhopper penguin is actually supposed to be.
Well, I'll put it up on screen. This is going to be the most edited playthrough of the year.
Now it's time for an exciting part of Mega Man Battle Network 6. We gotta find some fucking fish to feed this penguin.
Oh yeah, it can't all be going into computers and jacking in all day.
Except the part where we jack into a computer to look for fish.
I did not time that very well at all.
Still, I mean, I know it's early in the game, guys. But at the same time, don't you think we should have a little bit more of an interesting quest than finding penguins some food? Come on.
Yeah, Cybeast Gregar just like jumps out of nowhere. Okay, final boss time. Well, I didn't want to go that far.
Yeah, this isn't like Chrono Trigger where you can fight like the final boss right away. I really need to replay that because it's been so long and I have had that urging to play that again.
Yeah, the reg ups basically allow you to carry more chips, if I've studied my Mega Man Battle Network lore correctly.
Well, you probably have better more recently, because I sure as shit don't remember, but yeah, that's what they do. I'll ask a side question in the meantime, since really this is kind of a boring part. Besides, you know, this other Game Boy Advance experience you're having, what other Game Boy Advance games have you been a fan of back during its original run? Like, back when the console was new?
well, you've got Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, obviously, and Emerald, of course, the based Pokemon Emerald. There was a 2D kind of like arena Metabots fighter that I enjoyed.
I've played that, I think. I don't remember the specific name because I know Metabots had like, it had that, and it had this weird turn-based RPG where the Metabots were in like teams and they were running back and forth to the center, and when they got to the center they were able to attack. I don't know. Yeah,
that's the one people always say when I say, have you played this Metabots game? No, I'm talking about the one where you're in full control. It's kind of like an action game sort of thing. And of course, we can't forget the wonderful, the illustrious Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga coming later this year in HellfireComms.
As I said before, Yu-Gi-Oh! Eternal Duelist Soul was my first Game Boy Advance game. It could have been Superstar Saga, but I passed that up. But then later I went back, I was like, oh, this game's fucking amazing, why didn't I get it? And I still have the physical copy, like I said. I'd have to say during that time, because I actually had a silver Game Boy Advance, which I think was kind of a more rare kind of model. It was pretty cool to have. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately, but I remember my jam back then, when I was playing on my Game Boy Advances. These games whenever I could. Golden Sun, which is a jank game, when you look at it closely enough. I borrowed a lot of Game Boy Advance stuff. I actually did not own a lot of games back then, unsurprisingly, because I was a little poor.
Okay, fair enough.
But I played more of my Game Boy Color stuff on that, because I love the hell out of my Game Boy Color. I played that shit all the time. Mega Man and Bass, I remember that one. Oh
yeah.
Boy.
Oh yeah, sure, you'll never forget that.
Oh god, no. I still think you need to play it just to get an idea of how fucking much it hates people. I swear, man.
No, I don't want to. I hate myself enough already.
Alright, fair enough. I'm not gonna insist you do it.
Any other GBA games that tickle your fancy? Because we're still looking for fucking fish.
Ah, shit. Any of the card games I could get my hands on usually was, like, up my alley. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just keep this between us, alright, guys?
Okay.
I didn't play most of my Game Boy Advance games on my Game Boy Advance. Yeah. This was back when this stuff was easily accessible.
Ah.
But, as a result, I was able to play some really kind of neat stuff. That's where I played Chain of Memories. And that's where I played some of the other Battle Network games, especially this one. That's where I remember this cool game called Summon Knight Swordcraft Story, which was an interesting kind of little RPG where you, like, forged your own weapons, you had your own little companion, things like that. I had, like, a little robot man that turned into, like, a bigger robot man, and he was like a jet kind of thing. And it was a fantasy game. I don't know why there were robot men in that.
Okay, so we have jacked into an icebox, which apparently needed an internet connection for some reason. Like, you know, your firmware goes out, you need to upgrade it, otherwise your fish ain't gonna stay its freshest.
No, don't you get it? It's like DRM. You know, this way, people don't have iceboxes illegally. They have to constantly connect to the internet or they won't stay cold. It's the perfect plan.
This is the dumbest, just literally the dumbest I've ever heard.
Although I gotta say, I have tested a few electronic iceboxes at my job, and none of them really had starfish on the inside that tried to kill me with fucking bubbles.
Basically, we're gonna get, like, introduced to, like, more aquatic enemies now, because I believe the next area we're going to is basically an aquarium, and the fish, he shoots, like, darts forward. The starfish especially is one you're gonna want to look out for, because that can send bubbles, which can basically stun lock you, and the pufferfish, at first it will send out like maybe 1 or 2 pins. You attack it and you piss it off, it will send out a lot more, so it can cause the battlefield to get pretty hectic if you're not careful.
And it is pretty important that the next area we are going is water themes, because we're actually going to be fighting, for at least for this game, our first actual classic Robot Master Net Navi. I won't say which one it is right now. I mean, you already know, because I don't even know how far you are. Can you give me a vague idea of where you are currently?
Clan Man's giving it all this.
But that's not... Well, okay, we can talk more about that guy when we get to him. But you were past this guy. But, you know... I don't know where the sentence is going. Hold on.
Rebooting, abort, retry, fail.
No, you have to check a net navi into me and then kind of clean up my memory, because obviously it's corrupted.
Don't ever say you and the word Jack in the same sentence ever again.
Hey you, Jack, come here. Did I get around your little limits here?
Such a fuckboy.
I don't know, where do penguins come from? Let me just look that up. It's so weird how in this game, in this series, they have all of this advanced technology, but they don't have the equivalent of Google. I've said this before, but they just don't straight up look up shit. No, Mega Man, go into the fucking internet and find a fish EXE program or something like that. It's not like go to Google's homepage and type in a word. You know what I'm saying? Although, if they do make a NetNavi eventually, because I know Siri can do this. Like, she can, like, Google shit for you, I believe. Which is a pretty handy feature, which saves me, like, 5 seconds of typing, so it's completely worth it.
To be honest, if Siri was more advanced, I could just replace you entirely.
A commentary man EXE. Actually, if you get all of my basic, the things I repeatedly say, like that episode of The Simpsons where they were gonna replace the DJs with the DJ 5000?
Uh-huh.
The clowns in Congress? That's a bunch of clowns.
What a bunch of clowns.
Don't praise the machine. But if you get something like that with all of my common quirks and, things I tend to say over and over, it's like the commentary in wrestling games. You could just kind of have that come up in a sort of a basic AI script, and you wouldn't technically need me anymore.
Yeah, blah 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 and whatnot. Isn't that right, THD? Boy, what a slobber knocker that was, Tom.
Yeah, I say that all the time.
Well, you said wrestling, I went to the first thing that came to mind. You have new mail!
New viruses! You have 40 new viruses!
Extend my virtual dong? Why not?
Mega Man, is there something you need to be telling me?
Now, I remember when I was like a little kid, there was this teacher I really liked, and I kind of wanted to keep in touch with him, but I don't recall any, teacher ever emailing me after I left the school.
I have had, I remember my 4th grade teacher, I liked her a lot. I was really sad when, the school year ended and she left and things like that. I remember one thing she always she said to me that I will never forget, and I hope to make true someday. She's like, you're very creative, and someday I hope to see a book you've written sitting in the store shelves, and I have never forgotten that. So someday I will make that happen. Let me get serious. Let me get real with you here. Internet, how are you doing? I'm doing fine. Someday I will write that book, and I will send a copy to that former teacher, and I am gonna make her day. That is my plan. That's on my bucket list. That and getting another Firebird Trans Am, because that's the sexiest fucking car.
Yeah, you've mentioned your fetish, that particular one, quite a few times. Can I suggest a title for your book, by the way?
What?
I Am Not Let's Plays.
I have a feeling that would sort of bump up against other similar named books. We just checked our mail! Bugging me again, what the fuck do you want? More E-Dong stuff!
Caution, E-Dong's on the loose!
So how many battle chips does that take to install?
Oh, Jesus.
There's actually, in this game, and I think a few games beforehand, they made some modifications to the battleship folder, where usually, you used to have, you could go fucking bonkers in the past. But now the folders have more limits. If there are a certain memory size, you can only have so many copies. You still have the chip codes, you still have, the same type of chip, things like that. I think you can only carry, they have, different classes. They have, common chips, they have, mega chips, giga chips, things like that. And I think you can only carry, 4 mega chips and 1 giga chip in a folder, because they used to be like Yu-Gi-Oh up in here, where no resource system or restrictions made completely bullshit folders. So now they're like, oh shit, back it up.
Speaking of GBA games we enjoyed, do you remember Worldwide Edition?
I did not have a physical copy of that game, but Worldwide Edition is probably one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh games, even though the card pool is so limited, because I have gushed many times about how I love Battle City as a concept.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah, and the idea of just kind of cruising around the city, fighting people, and leveling up in the tournament was so good. I love that kind of shit. That's kind of why I want to play Nightmare Troubadour, because supposedly it's kind of like that, but it has a more in-depth story with, the classic Yu-Gi-Oh characters, and I really would be interested in trying that out if I ever get around to buying a copy. I'm sorry, but if I'm going to be buying a DS game, I'm going to be buying Game Center CX, alright? I have to.
Anyway, the point I was trying to make was, I remember, just going off your topic of, overpowered setups and whatnot. I remember fighting Kyber, and he destroyed me within the first 2 turns by doing some shit that got the Blue Eyes Ultimate White Dragon.
Oh, you ran into the Cyberstein combo. I remember that. Oh,
Yep.
What happened back then? Let me kind of clarify to fill some time here. Cyberstein was a very weak monster that let you pay 5,000 life points to instantly summon 1 fusion monster from your deck. The common setup was to get him early in game, drop him down, then summon Blue Eyes, which at the time was the strongest fusion monster with 45,000 attack points, and you could just kill the shit out of the other guy. It was so bad that they had to ban Cyberstein completely from the game. You cannot use him in competitive at all. And this is especially damning these days, since Yu-Gi-Oh! Is an eternal format, where in competitive you can use every single card ever made as long as it's not banned or restricted enough, you know what I'm saying?
Self-destruct button for days.
Yeah, so that back then, the game is fucking terrible now, but even back then they were still pulling some broken shit, because Konami cares more about selling cards than making a good game. Well, they don't make games anymore, let me tell you that.
I just want to correct you on a little thing. Second correction, if you're keeping track for your little bingo sheets out there. Well, the Blue Eyes White Ultimate Dragon was 4,500, not 45,000.
Well, okay, you know what I meant to say, I just said the wrong word, but otherwise the 45 number part of it was completely correct.
This battle is actually fairly challenging. We've got a new type of enemy that just got blown off the face of the earth there. He's gonna jump around, and when he lands, he will send a wave of energy along the line that he lands on.
This also kind of illustrates one other thing you have to watch out for on Battle Network. You would think that in these games, like with the normal classic games, your Mega Buster would be your main weapon. No. EPM, who did those LP archive Battle Network playthrough LPs that I've talked about in the past, he makes a point where your Buster is actually your support weapon, and your battle chips are your main weapons because they do more damage and things like that. And I can totally see the angle they've got going on here. The Buster, until you upgrade it, kind of really fucking sucks in Battle Network.
It does, yeah.
Even early on, I remember in Battle Network 1, you could do stuff like upgrade the attack, the charge speed, the rapid fire. If you got to 5, you basically had a machine gun, and then it was actually kind of worth a damn. But honestly, when I play these games, I never really bother to use the Buster that much, just because it does not do enough for me.
I got totally owned. Totally owned.
I went and played Overwatch without a team. It's so terrible.
Okay, just gonna pick this up, paying no heed to the programming pane over there.
That was probably the guy's wallet. You took his wallet. What's wrong with you?
I got assaulted by a random battle as penance, it's fine.
That's true. I suppose the universe balances itself out.
Ugh, the internet's leaking, Helldragon.
Has it been leaking for a while? Well, it is a series of tubes. I think we've said that before, but...
So yeah, the next port of call for Battle Network 6 is we've got to find the guy whose job it is to fix this stuff. We've talked to him once already. He was the nervous-looking Navi back in Central Area 1, I believe, who you had to actually talk to, it was mandatory, otherwise you couldn't get out of the area. And we've got to help him find a particular program he's lost.
What's weird is that this doesn't make sense for a particular kind of obstacle that they have to deal with. I mean, okay, yes, let's assume that, Navis are affected by real-world stuff like we are. Fire burns them and shit like that. There's just water on the path. If you walked a little bit slow, I'm sure you'll be fine. It's not like super happy-go-lucky fun slide, you know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe it is. You don't know how the internet works.
Well, clearly I don't. If this is a world where it's made of data, but fire still burns or something, is it how does fire work when you code it? Does it insert bug data or something? Does it delete? I guess it deletes bit of code. That would make sense, right? I don't know. Is it it would be more effective if it shot recycling bins at the data to get rid of it.
Why isn't there a recycleman.exe? You'd think there would be with all the internet stuff going on.
Well, there is a Dustman, so...
Ah, yeah.
I think he was in 4 or 5. Let me look that up really fast.
We got time. I'm going to throw up a pic of dustman.exe.
Let me just see which game he's in really fast.
He just looks like a bigger version of the regular Dustman.
Sort of like that, yeah.
Kind of disappointed, but it's staying faithful, so...
Oh yeah, he is in this game. Okay, cool. We'll meet him later.
Oh, I'm an idiot. I was just looking at fucking the regular Dustman. That's... Oh, jeez.
Put up the correct picture, please.
Okay, I'm fucking looking for it. Where the hell is it? Dustman.exe.
There you go.
Okay, that's much different.
Yeah, I told you, man. I knew you
Jesus.
were messing something up.
Okay, strike, like, my perfect record from the record. This is my mistake. And now we've got to jack into the toilet, so I guess we'll cover this tomorrow. See you then. Fucking hell. Oh, he hasn't changed at all, because that's the same guy.